Alright, what is up guys? We are back. After that cube mile video, I felt a little stressed trying to get all that out and get all the recording done. So I took a couple days off just from recording. So I didn't record a lot of stuff this week in particular, but we will be documenting just a bit of this long run here. Today is March 22nd, so we're just about a month away from Boston. This is going to be one of my last sort of big long runs, probably big weeks here. I'm about to get over 80 miles this week with the conclusion of this long run here. I'm also testing out some race shoes as well. Just going to start narrowing down what I might want to race in for Boston. Yesterday I used the Endorphin Elite 2s from Saucony. Of course, I like those shoes. They're a very unique ride and awfully soft and squishy, so pretty fun to run. I used that for yesterday's just sort of moderately zone 3 paced 75-minute run. Today we're going to be using the Adios Pro 4s that I used for that half marathon PR a while ago, but we're going to give them a shot here, just kind of remind myself how they feel. Of course, Boston's an Adidas race, so I might just wear the Adidas stuff. Why not throw them a bone in that regard? But yeah, today's workout, or long run workout, is going to be a 30-minute build, 30-minute easy build, and then we're going to have a 2-mile interval at about 5:40 pace, and a 400-meter jog, and then we're going to do a 1.5-mile interval at about 5:25, another 400-meter jog, and a 1.25-mile interval at about 5:20 pace, so not a ton faster there, 5:15 pace, then a 400-meter jog, and then the last interval will be just a 1 mile at about 5 flat pace. So coach is asking me to run a 5 flat mile here, but it's just going to be a bit of a threshold or half marathon pace to, well, mile PR pace somewhat. But yeah, should be fun. And after that, just about another hour of easy. Again, the total duration is going to be about 2.5 hours. So one of the biggest weeks this week for me. So yeah, we're going to be hitting close to about 9.5 hours of running total this week, and about 82 miles probably. We'll see by the end of this long run, but I will be taking y'all with me this time. As again, I said I've been taking a bit of a break, just kind of recording my runs here, but I did bring out the camera today to wear on my head and just kind of record some in-betweens and all the reps and stuff, and just while I'm taking some fuel, because we're definitely going to practice that today. The UCANs and Martins like I've talked about before. But yeah, let's take y'all on this run now. We're well on our way, just beginning this run here. And the easy 30-minute part, but in the Adios Pro 4s, I got my UCANs and Martins with me. It actually feels kind of liberating, enjoying the run and weather like this, where I don't have to have my hands free, because usually during the week I'd have my phone with me and listen to whatever podcast or whatever, some music. But today it's just gonna be me, the Greenway. It's got a beautiful weather out here. But yeah, it's the middle of March. But it's only now getting pretty consistently warm. Had kind of a cold blast. The last week there, where I was wearing some tights and stuff and like 3 layers. Well, I think we're pretty home free now, but it's gonna get pretty hot now. In the 60s and almost 70, in the mornings here. I'll be ready for whatever weather it's gonna be like in Boston, though. Always here, it could be anything. Just in mile 3 here. I'm gonna do about, instead of 30 minutes, I'm gonna go out to 35 minutes. That'll be 5 miles. And then for the first 2-mile interval, go out and back. So in the total for this first out and back, I go 6 out, 6 back. I should be done with the workout before I get all the way back. So I can just do an hour easy, where it's just out and back 30 minutes for the ending. But yeah, catch out during the intervals. Alright, 30 minutes in. Just took my first Martin here. Just gonna wait till 5 miles to start the 2-mile intervals and all the rest there. Nice and sunny out. I got about 500 meters till the start. 540 pace. 540. Alright, it's almost there. Start this turn. Voiceover Eddie here, just here to let y'all know. Now, I just didn't really record much of the actual intervals here because I'm just a little nervous about or at least not as confident in sort of turning on the camera and recording certain segments, whether that's before or after or during the interval or during the 400-meter jogs here. So I didn't get much of that here, but we'll still kind of get a bit of the aftermath after I kind of finished all the intervals and just kind of endure and continue on with the 70 minutes of the run. But I'll definitely try and get better at that during these more intense workouts, because obviously that's what I got the camera for. But yeah, hope y'all bear with me here and just sort of enjoy the rest of this run after all these intervals. Alright, just finished with that whole workout portion. Hit the paces for the most part for the 2 mile, 1.5 and 1.25, but for that last mile repeat, we were able to hit about 507, so didn't really get close to 5.5 like I wanted. But now we're on the cool down part. So basically when I finished the workout portion, anyway, I had about 70 minutes of running left, so about 70 minutes of easy to go. I'm gonna take all my fuel like usual, keep on schedule, and we'll practice that. Holy crap, I finished, okay. Long run's done. That was, I mean, there wasn't a lot of working miles during the long run here. Just like I said, it was about 5.75 miles at either threshold to quicker pace, CV pace, essentially. So I managed to run the 2 mile interval at about 5:35, so that was good. And then I ran the 1.5 mile interval at about 5:25, also pretty good. And then the 1.25 interval about 5:14, 5:15, pretty good. And then the last mile, I picked a really bad mile to do it on, how I lined up the out and back. So I pretty much went about 5:07 for that last mile, but there was a couple of twists and turns there. I even went over the wooden bridge along this greenway, but really good still. It's hot out here. I started at 8 o'clock, really sunny. It was pretty much 60 degrees or warmer, because it started about 60 degrees when I began. So it's good training for Boston in case it's going to be a sunny day, because again, like everyone says, it could be any conditions on the day. And again, the start time is at 10 a.m. so if it's sunny, it's going to be pretty warm by then. So, you know, stay in the shade, get used to the sun here. But yeah, after those intervals, kind of ran back to my car, grabbed about a sip of water for a minute, because again, I'm sweating it up because it's awfully hot out here. And then started the just final 70 minutes at, you know, easy to moderate pace. So I started about 7-minute pace right after the water break, but then I built up where the last about 5-6 miles are at least averaging about 5:15 pace. The 23rd and final full mile was ran at about 6:02, so again, I kind of picked it up a bit. Just wanted to kind of spin the wheels here when it's hot and sunny, and you know, at the end of a 2.5 hour long run. So I managed to, you know, continue picking up the pace, continue kind of recruiting this sort of muscle fibers, and not kind of have a controlled fall off. I was able to either speed up if I wanted to or slow down if I really felt like it, but sped up a good bit, you know, just kind of built into the almost 6 flat, kind of what I want to have my marathon pace at. So I mean, the long run feels good when I just do one like that. The last 2 weeks I didn't really have a long run, because last weekend I ran a 15K race, which I will make a video and talk about surely before this one here, or maybe after this little long run video. And then the week before I had the cube mile, so I didn't have much of a long run. On the day after that, I think I did about 90 minutes. So again, it's been a second since I had this really long run with some working reps and just a good bit of moderate kind of top end of the aerobic pace pyramid here. So just a really good long run here. Gonna fuel up, electrolyte up, you know, make sure I repair and whatnot. But yeah, that long run ended up being about 23.25 miles. So again, a lot of time on feet. Really good to kind of feel that strong or have that much run left in me towards the end of the run.
But yeah, it went out to be 23.25 miles. So that concludes the week with a 85-mile week. That's like my biggest mileage week ever by about like 7 miles. So I really did shoot up from last week. But again, last week shorter long run after that race. So definitely take care to not hurt myself tomorrow and a few days after this, and just kind of take it easy. Go back into another, I think, one more peak week. After today, we'll just have a month left or 4 weeks left to Boston. So we might have another kind of biggish shorter week, maybe a 70-mile week, and then the taper should probably begin from there. But yeah, only a month away. Trying to feel as confident as possible, try to draw from all the best runs I've had, either races or workouts or anything else like that. But things are looking good, getting used to the heat here. Again, I'd like to say I prefer the heat, but I also kind of like it when it's 40 degrees out as well. But, it's good to be able to do this sort of long run also in this sort of warm conditions. There wasn't much shade along the greenway. Again, awfully sunny. I'm wearing a pretty dark shirt and all that. The tights actually got pretty warm, so I'm not sure about tights in hot weather. I might go with a belt and just split shorts. I think those are very breathable and I think make a good difference. My thighs are getting a little warm during the run, but nothing super irritating. But yeah, lots to do and debate about, but the Adios Pro 4s carried me here. I think I will use those for the Boston Marathon, just all Adidas themed. But yeah, really good week, really good, kind of second to last peak week here in this peak phase. But yeah, let's try and recover and kind of absorb all the training stimulus here. The training happens after the actual running part as well, just taking care of yourself. So I'll be doing that after just a short shift at work today, and that'll conclude this week.